welcome to our first installment of DBCember.
We're counting down our top favorite Dragon Ball video games, and we want to get right to the good stuff.
Which means we're gonna have to machine gun the first 12. But don't worry, we'll cover the important bits for each one.
Part retrospective, part list of favorites. Let's get right into it with number 24.
24. Ultimate Battle 22 is no stranger to us Dragon Ball fans who imported their Dragon Ball games in the Great Drought of the 1990s. Of course, the game would get a release in the States in 2003, but by then, there were no excusing its faults.
While the game features actual cell art from official series artists and animators, it's essentially the only feature of value in the game proper.
It's made worse that said character art is heavily compressed for the PlayStation version, and the changes of SHIN BUTODEN did nothing to make the gameplay any better. Music kicks ass though, easily one of the best Dragon Ball game soundtracks.
Why did you have to plagiarize everything, Yamamoto? Alright, that's probably why it all sounded good in the first place. Damn Ultimate Catch 22. 23.
Plan to Eradicate the Saiyans was notorious among the early fandom for being the lost OVA that had its own unique villain, Hachiyak.
People often forget that this was actually a game originally for the Famicom. It was adapted a year later into an FMV game for Bandai's short-lived PLAYDIA console.
A video guide VHS showed how events were supposed to play out and showed players the correct choices. This ultimately became the rumored lost OVA that finally got remade in 2010 in Raging Blast 2.
It's actually part of the BUTODEN line of games. If you're unfamiliar with that series,
I'm unfamiliar with that series.
It's pretty much straightforward card battling with some overworld shenanigans.
This game is here almost exclusively for its impact on the fandom, and it got a recent push with Hachiyak being the main bad of Raging Blast 2 years ago. 22.
A game where I can create my own OC and battle different baddies across the Dragon Ball timeline? What could go wrong?
Even I'm surprised to see Xenoverse this far down on the list.
No, jackasses, this is Dragon Ball Online. Unfortunately, I'm the only person here to have actually played it, but personally, I loved it. Your character starts as a child and you slowly work your way into adulthood, with your level essentially representing your age as you play. Once you're an adult, you can take part in key moments of Dragon Ball history along with a group of friends in really cool raid events.
Speaking of Dragon Ball history, one of the coolest things this game did was establish a post-Z timeline of events from the man Akira Toriyama himself.
Satan makes it as a movie star, Krillin and Tien take up their own Masters dojos, and Goku and Vegeta fly off into space for one last final battle leading to a supernova seen years later. I'm honestly okay if Super decides to just steal this one for itself.
Seriously, the extended universe contributions of DBO can't be overstated. Toa, Mira, the Time Patrol, Timebreaker Bardock, all this stuff was originally in Dragon Ball Online. Xenoverse owes its existence to this game. It can't be any higher on this list though, simply because it's been shut down.
21. Why did we never get this goddamn game?
It's really unfortunate that it had to be released so late in the DS's lifespan, otherwise we might have gotten a port.
Yeah, this game's got a plethora of awesome customizations for every fighter, and a unique modeling style that we'd see again come Fusions. It's also featured a ton of really neat stages.
And it's the only game where you can play as King Kai.
Unfortunately, it was really clunky and played like butt.
20.
Okay, wow, this game looks fun as hell.
It is! It's easily my favorite of the Dragon Ball Arena fighters. Each time I go to Japan, I sink at least 20 bucks worth of yen into this goddamn game. Every character is so unique, fun, and balanced. It's tailor-made for competitive shenanigans.
Oh, maybe this year we'll finally get that PS3 port, eh?
You think you're fucking funny?
Goo.
With the low price of airplane ticket to Japan, it's hard to see why this didn't get placed any higher.
19.
I am so happy this game exists, if only as a stepping stone to Arxis making fighters.
Extreme BUTODEN has some neat advanced mechanics, stunning sprite work, and a lot of fan service throughout.
Its major problem, beyond an incredibly simplistic fighting system, is its console. It was stuck on the 3DS, and as any fighting game fan knows, it's a tad cumbersome trying to play a competitive game on that one.
There was a lot of fun single-player content, though, and a lot of post-release support. Did you know this can cross over with the One Piece game that came out too?
You mean the one we never got?
Yeah!
18.
Speaking of good stuff, I love this game to pieces.
Oh, huh. I think I've seen these sprites before.
Everyone on the internet loved making their OCs using sprite work from this game. It was the first big portable Dragon Ball game that covered Raditz to Boo and allowed you to play through as anyone afterwards. There's a lot to love here.
There's some Mario RPG going on with the combat, and the card system is actually really fleshed out throughout the game.
If you need a reason to bust out your GBA SP or old brick, give this game a play. It's still good on the go.
17.
I would have gotten here sooner.
This game is era-defining to a lot of older fans. This was all we had in the US, unless you imported/pirated copies back in the 90s, until the turn of the century, when the first Budokai came out on the PS2.
When this game released, Dragon Ball Z had just finished airing the Saiyan saga for the first time on syndication. They didn't even get to Namek, and we got a game that has Goku with this new crazy gi and all these other characters. This was insane!
Aside from the impact it had on fans, the game has a spectacular soundtrack with good old Yamamoto bringing the best plagiarized music he could.
Are we just going to ignore the first time we got a Dragon Ball video game dub? With Steve Bloom as Goku?
Ooh, a fun fact! The current cast list of the game available online was originally composed by me, as there were never any official credits.
Not to mention you fight actual Great Ape Baby and only see his foot on the screen, like what the hell?
And its opening biggest fight? Definitely one of Hironobu Kageyama's best performances.
16.
And you thought we were through the garbage.
For real though, this game is wet stinking garbage. What's it doing here, Garen?
Well, Scott, have you ever played this game on co-op all the way through?
I've never coerced someone to inject WD-40 into their eyeballs, no.
Kieran does have a point. There was something there when we played through the game together. Something spiritual.
Right? As the only American-made console Dragon Ball game, it's easy to see why we never got another chance. But the full co-op run is actually pretty fun.
But as we are all aware, fun and good are not the same thing. There's a lot of bullshit and straight-up game-breaking glitches, but with a partner, magic can happen.
Scott, I'm gonna force you to play this with me. I know we're drift compatible.
You'll have to strap me down and gag me, dude. So yeah, sure, sounds like a good time.
15.
I think we can safely say that with number 15, we've finally made it. It's legit nothing but the best from here on up.
Every single modern Dragon Ball action game owes something to Super BUTODEN 2.
With the focus on dynamic movement, beam struggles, powering up, and goofy combos, it's easily the cornerstone of everything Dragon Ball related that came after it.
Keeping informed, the soundtrack for this set the stage for many of the character themes to come in future games. It's a fan favorite in Japan, and it is easy to see why.
The balls on this game too. It does not let you play as frickin' Goku from the start. He is a secret character. Just imagine a modern Dragon Ball game trying to pull that.
It's honestly something special. It even recently got re-released on the 3DS Virtual Store with copies of Fusions.
If you haven't played Super BUTODEN 2, know that it wrote the book on good Dragon Ball games.
14.
Y'all better step back, cause this is my shit, son.
Hyperdimension for the Super Famicom is the other era-defining game for fans.
I've sunk more hours into playing this on my old SNES emulator than maybe any other game on this list. Look at this beautiful pile of pixels! It's like the guys from Chrono Trigger made a fighting game and it's amazing.
This game had a lot of unique features that many other fighters at the time didn't have on home consoles, including a full story mode campaign.
And its central mechanic is really cool. Your ki is also your life, so when you're charging up for a special move, you're also healing yourself.
And if you're close to death, you can pull out these crazy super moves that look fantastic in this art style.
Guys, seriously, this game rocks, and it's a shame we never got a localized version.
13.
The missing piece of the 90s PS1 Dragon Ball Trinity we never got in America.
And it's the only really good one, too.
This game looks like absolute insanity, and I kinda love it.
Right? This game captures the momentum of Dragon Ball in a way no other game has really matched. It's so ballistic and kinetic, and I love it.
It also features the full Dragon Ball Z story with a huge cast of characters, all the way from Raditz to Boo, as we've come to know and tolerate.
This was also the first game to include team battles that we'll see more of in the future entries.
Being able to fight off the Cybermen, Cell Juniors, Ginyu Force, and all the other multi-dude battles were really spectacular back on the PlayStation. A lot of the fighters were clunky, but this 2D, 3D hybrid is something great.
The voice work is also standout, the story mode is huge, and you can do all these wacky matches after you've unlocked everything. It really is a visual spectacle.
Now, if only I had a clue what I was doing.
Yeah, it is a little dense, but it's also spectacular. Legends is easily one of my favorite Dragon Ball games.
Phew! And with that, we've barreled through 24 through 13 and arrived at the best of the best.
Gotta love the unique cornucopia we've experienced so far, though.
Hell yeah, plenty of exciting games in that bottom 12. While it would have been nice to give a video for each, it would have just gotten redundant at some point.
Now, with those out of the way, get ready for our 12 days of DBCember proper, starting December 13th. See you then.